Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Nicholas Porcelli, bringing you what is actually our first Monday edition of FSU weather, taking a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. 84 degrees, partly cloudy. As you can see, there's actually some clouds popping up right now over the stadium. I want you guys to pay attention to these storms right here, right above, north of Tallahassee, right north of I-10. There's some pretty strong thunderstorms, lots of lightning popping up, and there's going to be more rain moving in from the west. So tonight in Tallahassee, aside from those showers that we just saw on the radar, it's going to be partly cloudy, winds south-southwest, 5 miles per hour, and relatively cool, 71 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast, 86 degrees, partly cloudy, winds from the northeast. It's going to be a relatively nice day. And for today's headlines in FSU weather, we're going to be expecting wet and raining conditions today, severe storm risk in the northeast, and we're going to be tracking 2 tropical disturbances. All that and more today.
Thanks, Nicholas. That's right. Today has been a pretty typical summertime day across much of the Big Bend area. Radar is starting to light up with a few showers and thunderstorms with that daytime heating now starting to get that convection up and going. And a few of those thunderstorms may be a little bit strong, but for the most part, they should stay under severe limits. But that is actually out ahead of our cold front, which we'll be talking more here on FSU weather tonight. That will be coming in on Wednesday into Thursday, where we'll actually see some drier air coming in to our area. And it'll make sure for a lot and for a break here for summertime heat. But now I'll turn things back over to Spencer at the wall.
Thank you, Aaron. So right now we are here's a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium. We do have some clouds sitting in the area. However, those, actually did just update. So we're seeing some cloudy conditions, temperatures around 84 degrees here in Tallahassee. Lovely evening so far. And more of our current temperatures, we are looking at temperatures in the low 80s around much of the Big Bend region, 81 degrees in Tallahassee, 84 in Monticello, and 83 in Quincy. As well, our current dew points. This is a measure of how much moisture the air can hold. Currently, we are looking at extremely muggy conditions. Wow, 83 degrees in Crawfordville, 76 in Tallahassee, and 81 in Monticello. So very, very muggy outside right now. And our temperature almanac. So this shows us the average high and low temperature and our today's high and low temperature, as well as our records. So our average is sitting right around, today we're sitting right around our average temperatures, not anywhere near our records, thank goodness. And as well, our hour by hour for today and tomorrow, you can see we do have temperatures we can expect to see in the mid-70s before they ramp up into the mid-80s. And lastly, our satellite radar. So we can see not too much happening over here in the Panhandle. However, we do have a huge cluster of storms making its way into the Big Bend region. So if you are in like Citrus County, Levy County, that area, please be aware for some severe storms. And focusing in more on the Big Bend region, we do have a small cluster of storms, particularly north of I-10 in Leon County and out west toward Defuniak Springs, Cypress, and Panama City. However, everywhere else except for down here is pretty clear for tonight. And tonight's forecast, again, we can expect temperatures in the mid to low 70s, 71 in Quincy, 73 in Tallahassee, and 74 in Apalachicola. And for our bikecast for tomorrow, so it's going to be pretty warm, typical for this time of year. So if you are going to go biking, it's going to be nice mid-70s in the morning. Should ramp up to the 80s by the afternoon. And local forecast for tomorrow, we can expect to see more temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, 85 in St. Mark's, 87 in Quincy, and 84 in Thomasville. And taking one look at our week ahead, we can see temperatures in the upper 80s and the mid 80s throughout much of the week. And oh my goodness, we start to see some low temperatures in the 60s. So it just shows even more that our summertime temperatures are starting to wane, moving into fall. And I'm going to be passing it off to Evan now with our next segment.
That's right. We're going to zoom out a little bit and take a look at the beautiful state of Florida, the Sunshine State. And it looks like a lot of these cameras are living up to that Sunshine State name here. And I'm actually a little tall on this camera here. But anyway, so we're looking pretty much around the whole state. Nice conditions around much of the peninsula of Florida right now. Tampa's a little bit cloudy. We have some showers around throughout the peninsula right now. We'll take a look at that on the radar here in just a minute or so. Current temperatures are sitting majority in the lower to middle 80s. There are some warm spots down in South Florida around Miami sitting at 90 right now. And there's also some cooler spots up in the Panhandle. Pensacola dealing with some rain showers in 79. So the places where you see the cooler temperatures are where you have some showers right now. And really uniform across the whole state right now are those high dew points, that really muggy and humid air. So you might be wondering, especially for the northern part of the state, when is that going to potentially change? So I'll get to that in a minute here, but this week we could see some dew points that are in the middle 50s, believe it or not. And like Ms. Spencer was mentioning, dew points are the measure of the moisture content of the atmosphere. So the lower the dew point you have, the less humid it'll feel. So that could be coming Tuesday and Wednesday for the northern part of Florida. Again, I'll get to that in a second here. As Spencer mentioned earlier, we have this influx of rain coming off the Gulf of Mexico. Some of these can contain some strong tropical downpours, so just be aware of that for any drive home that you may have on any busy roadways. There could be some ponding on those roadways, so just be careful of that going through this evening. So we don't have any real severe thunderstorm threat for today, just a general threat of some non-severe thunderstorms really statewide today, as we just saw on that radar. So just be mindful of that going out through tonight. Miami doesn't look like we're going to get much of a break from those thunderstorms throughout this week, as that front won't really reach you guys down in South Florida. It's really going to stall out around that I-4 corridor. So Miami, those rain chances stay elevated throughout the week this week. A similar story in Tampa. Temperatures are slightly cooler in the middle 80s, but still 60% chance on Tuesday and Wednesday, going up to 90% on Thursday. Again, very similar story for Orlando. That's really where that front is going to stall out, and that's where you have those elevated thunderstorm threat there. A different story here as we go further north. See how temperatures are slightly cooler and the rain chances are slightly lower as well. This is really where we're going to see that cold front have its greatest effect around the state of Florida, where the temperatures will come slightly down and we'll have dew points that become very low. So places like Pensacola, you'll feel that as well. Temperatures will be in the middle to upper 80s, but those dew points will be nice and low. It won't be humid, so a nice hint at fall coming throughout the state of Florida. You'll see tonight, look at that, 69 in Pensacola, Florida, getting that into the 60s tonight, and we'll have more widespread 60s throughout the Panhandle of Florida going through the week. Tomorrow looks like a stormy day for much of Peninsula. North Florida is the exception. Ali, you ready for fall around here? I'm ready for fall.
I am absolutely excited for fall. I just cannot get enough of that cooler weather, which sadly we are not really seeing. We're seeing a lot of 80s throughout the southeast, 79 in Jackson, but mostly staying in that mid-80 region, not really the fall that I love. We are seeing currently some of that flow from the Gulf, which is contributing to this really muggy and moist weather that we've been seeing persistently happening throughout the week. Just a light breeze in Tallahassee, 7 miles per hour, but it's picking up in Jackson and Montgomery. Even in Orlando, look at that, 13 miles per hour, so maybe a little bit windy down there. As for the relative humidity, Florida and much of the southeast coast is sticking out like a green thumb, you guys. We've been seeing a lot of moisture over the last week, over the weekend, and you can really see those storms persisting, coming in through the Big Bend from the Gulf into the Central Florida region, North Central Florida region. As for the heat index, guys, hate to break it to you, it's gonna be hot. You see that it's gonna be sticking in the 80s, much into even Tennessee, that northern area, 91 in Charleston. Guys, we just can't get a break. It just keeps staying hot in the southeast. 89 in Orlando, and look at that, 93 in Tallahassee, you guys. It's really kind of unbearable outside. It's only worse with that water vapor. You can see that intense water vapor making its way from the Gulf into the Big Bend region of Florida. You can see it persisting all throughout Central Florida. Look at those pop-ups of water vapor down there. It's just, a real mix of moist weather. For that SPC storm outlook, we have a threat of really non-severe thunderstorms, that sort of typical afternoon convection that we normally get in Florida, just persisting. For much of the southeast region, going up into Raleigh, we can see some marginal threats for severe weather. Storm outlook for day 2, we can see it kind of move away from the Panhandle, more into the central part of Florida, the actual peninsula. We're going to continue seeing that threat of non-severe thunderstorms. Storm outlook 3, you can see it creep back into the peninsula, into the Panhandle, and a little bit into southeastern Georgia. that future radar. Look at those storms coming off of the east coast of Florida. You can see those persisting storms coming in from the Gulf into Florida, but it looks like it's going to clear up once it hits Wednesday, like that cold front that we've been expecting to hit throughout. But then, you know, those storms will come back and keep ravaging Florida. 72-hour rainfall. It's been mostly green for Tallahassee, not a lot of rainfall, but as I said, you've seen those storms in the eastern portion of Florida really ramping up, really creating a lot of rainfall for that region up into the southeast. And, you know, it just really persistent rain. Atlanta, Georgia, mostly in the mid-80s for them, dipping down into the 50s on Tuesday. But you're mostly going to be seeing some consistent 80 and low mid-60s. Wow, look at that. Tonight's forecast, you have 55 up in southern Tennessee, but it's really going to just persist with those hot temperatures during the day. You're seeing 86, 91, 89 in Little Rock. But now let's pass stuff off to Nico, who's going to tell us about sports. Nico, I'm so excited to hear about the sports segment. What do you think about that?
Yeah, FSU sports are definitely exciting. So now we're going to look at the Monday night sports segment. All right. First off, tonight's not a good night to be playing sports. I think you can probably tell by this picture. You don't want to be playing sports right now. You can see that there's no one out here on the field here because there's an outflow boundary coming over us right now, and thunderstorms are likely to develop along this boundary, along the sea breeze. You don't want to be outside playing sports right now. In the NFL, the Broncos are playing in Seattle at the Seahawks tonight for Monday Night Football. It's going to be a nice night there. It's not raining like it normally is in Washington. It's going to be 67 with partly cloudy skies. That's really nice weather. And as you look at your satellite and radar, center of the country is clear, but look at the southeast right now, especially Florida. It's Florida. It's raining. It's always raining at this time in the afternoon in Florida, although there may be some relief coming in later this week, so that'll be something to watch. And then up near Seattle, where the game is tonight, it's clear. It's going to be a really nice evening for them up there for the football game. So if you're going up there, then it'll be a nice evening for Monday Night Football. If you're traveling back tomorrow, you should not have any delays. 70 degrees and sunny. This is going to be a nice day. If you want to stay an extra day, that's a good day to be outside, too. And then Wednesday, Thursday, as I said, very nice week in Seattle. If you're going up to Seattle for any reason, you can stay there till Thursday. You can enjoy the week. It's going to be a nice week outside. And then as we play at Florida, that's our big rival. We're playing at UF. This is luckily indoors because it says 80 and cloudy, but I think there could be sea breeze storms in the peninsula and Gainesville tomorrow. So you definitely want to be inside. It does clear out later in the night because sea breeze storms dissipate after a certain time of the night. And our defending national title soccer team playing at Boston College on Friday, 67 degrees and mostly cloudy. And then our football game at Louisville, it's going to be mostly cloudy and 71. That will be a nice game to go to if you are traveling to Louisville. And then looking at your week ahead in Louisville, if you're going up there for the game, it's going to be a nice week. But now I'm going to pass things off to Aaron.
That's right, Nico. We're all here rooting for the Noles on Friday at 7:30, so don't forget to watch. But across the nation, we see quite the dip of temperatures here around the Midwest, where we have our cyclone, our extratropical cyclone, up in the Midwest, bringing those cooler temperatures down from Canada. We'll see temperatures right in the 60s across Chicago and Detroit, but a little bit warmer as you make your way back off to the west in the northern plains, where we still see some 80s, all the way down to the Gulf Coast, where San Antonio is sitting at 91, and then here we're sitting in the mid-80s. Our current dew points, if you're playing Spot the Cold Front, it is right here in the southeast, where we have that much drier air coming in and pushing in from the plains here. This is actually what will bring that drier weather in a couple of days as we make our way into our Wednesday with really a much relief from the summertime heat that we've been getting. Temperature won't drop too much, but you'll definitely feel a difference in that feels like temperature outside. And here's our cold front lining up from about southern Texas, swinging its way all the way up into the Great Lakes. We do have some showers out ahead of that. That's what's brought us our shower activity over the weekend across much of Florida up into the Carolinas, and then spinning over into Chicago. But out in the central part of the U.S., we have those H's there. That stands for high pressure, and that's what's bringing that little bit of warmer air across much of the central plains. And our water vapor, you can see that comma shape right here from that low pressure area. That's what's bringing down that drier air there across the central plains from Oklahoma all the way up into Tennessee and Kentucky. For our active alerts across the western part of the nation, we do have some air quality alerts. That's what tends to happen when we have those suppressing air from that high pressure, especially in the mountain regions. But we also do have some flash flood watches flood watches and warnings across much of the Intermountain West. We do actually also have a small craft advisory for the coastal portions of California. So as we go back to our satellite and radar, we do see much in the way of that convective activity over across the Big Bend down into central Florida. And that does rotate up through New England. So New York might see a few showers here potentially over the nighttime or so. And then dry out over the central plains with some more showers over the western part of the country, which is why we're seeing that flood watch over there. So as we zoom in a little bit further, we see those showers kind of forming along the Cascades there and into the Sierra Nevadas. Around Las Vegas, could see some showers activity there. And do keep in mind, this is the Intermountain West, so we could see some landslides here. So do be careful, and especially watch out for that flash flooding risk across that region. And across the Midwest, we see that spinning here over Lake Michigan, right over, actually pretty close to Chicago there. And you can, if you're also playing where spot the low pressure area, it is right there over Lake Michigan across the Midwest. And for the Mid-Atlantic and New England, we do see those showers propagating from the southwest, and they are moving over to the northeast. So perhaps you might run into a shower or two if you're over in places like Washington and in Raleigh. So make sure you keep that umbrella handy. Our drought monitor, we see much in the way of a drought, especially off to the west, where the rain actually might help a little bit, especially in the San Joaquin Valley, where they're really in an exceptional drought there. And so you really want to make sure you stay hydrated across much of the Mountain West. Tomorrow's forecast, we'll see temperatures remaining in the 90s across much of the southeast. But now we'll turn things back over to Evan with the tropics.
That's right. The tropics are always something to watch this time of year, especially because we just passed the peak of the activity for hurricane season. So let's take a look at what we're watching here in the tropics. We'll start with the eastern Pacific. There are two areas being monitored by the National Hurricane Center right now. One is out in front here. We have this 20% chance of development over the next 5 days here. That's moving over the open waters of the eastern Pacific. The one to watch more, though, is this one that has a 70% chance of development over the next 5 days, this red highlighted area. That's the area where we could see development over the next 5 days from that system. So that's something to watch there. Again, it'll be moving over the open waters of the Pacific, but still something to watch nonetheless. As we transition over to the Atlantic, though, there are also two areas to watch. Both of them are given a 20% chance of development by the National Hurricane Center. This one we should probably watch the most because this will be coming very close to the Leeward Islands here, the Caribbean islands, and also towards Puerto Rico by the time we get to, say, the end of this week. So that's something to watch as well because it's going into a more favorable environment. I'll show you that in a second here. But here are those two systems in the eastern Pacific on the water vapor imagery. Very moist environment here, and they aren't really dealing with a whole lot of dry air. You really have to go up towards the Baja of California and up towards like San Diego to get into that dry air there. So they're not really dealing with that in the way of dry air. There is some wind shear as we transition back over to the Atlantic. There is some wind shear that these systems are going to be dealing with. That's part of the reason why they only have a 20% chance to develop over the next 5 days. However, there is some very warm sea surface temperatures that they're going to be running into. You see all this big area right here, that's that big area of temperatures well over 80 degrees, approaching 90 degrees in some places where you see that purple highlighted. So if that first system comes, this is where that first system is, right around here. If this makes a run towards the islands here and towards San Juan, that's very warm ocean water, so we'll have to watch that carefully as we get towards later in the week. Back towards closer to home, though, we could get some tropical downpours, especially in Florida, coming off the Gulf of Mexico and impacting the peninsula of Florida over the next couple of days. That's typical for Florida this time of year. And you can also see where that front that we've been mentioning is right about there, working its way through 2 days from now, bringing those nicer conditions to the panhandle of Florida, but still rainy conditions for much of the peninsula of Florida. And as for that system in the eastern Pacific, it could bring a pretty hefty amount of rainfall to Mexico. You can see in those red and orange colors there, that's about 3 to 5 inches of rainfall over the next 3 days here, over the next 72 hours. So that's something to be careful of there. Very mountainous terrain in some places there, so we could be dealing with some landslides, some mudslides, things like that. So if you know anybody there, you might want to give them just a heads up that this is going to be happening over the next 3 days or so. But back to the Atlantic, and if we get a named system out of those two systems that we've been watching in the Atlantic, the next storm on the next name on the storm list is Fiona and Gaston. So both of those could be named here over the next few days or so. We'll have to keep those systems an eye on over the next few days just to see if they do develop. But in the meantime, while we have this bit of a lull here in the Atlantic system, best to have that emergency fluid water supply ready to go, get that battery operated weather radio, emergency supply kit, get those important documents in line, and have those power sources at the ready just in case you do lose power as hurricane season does go through November here. So let's transition back to Nicholas here.
Thank you so much, Evan. Hopefully none of these systems develop. We don't want them to be ruining any of the cool events or any of the cool sporting events that will be happening. So taking a look at the local sportsplex, St. George Island, Panama City, and Lake Bradford, it's not looking too nice other than Panama City where the sun is out, but here in Tallahassee, there's pretty dark clouds. Not going to look too nice to do anything right now. Current temperatures here in Tallahassee, so around mid to low 80s, 85 in Bainbridge, that's the highest temperature we got right here. 83 in Tallahassee, pretty nice night, I would say so myself. Stargazing forecast. So tonight, 93% full waning gibbous. It's going to be pretty nice to see the moon. If it does come out, I don't think it will. There will be lots of clouds, though the viewing conditions say it will be good. Dog walk forecast, 72 degrees tomorrow at 7 a.m., 73 at 9 a.m. It's going to be pretty warm, although it looks like it's going to be clear enough for a nice dog walk. So Tallahassee, we do not expect any delays. It's going to be partly cloudy, 84 degrees. As for the rest of the country, actually looking pretty nice all the way down, mid-80s temperatures, no delays as from what I can see, except for Orlando, where it seems that there's going to be thunderstorms for tomorrow, and it's going to be 81 degrees. So for the most part, it looks like it's going to be clear skies ahead for our pilots. Tomorrow's drive cast, 73 at 9 a.m., 81 noon. It's going to be mid to mid-80s. In the afternoon, there's going to be a 70% chance of rain. So be careful out in the streets tomorrow in the afternoon. For the marine forecast, winds 5 to 10 knots and temperatures at 84, although it seems that it's going to be a little bit rainy and there's going to be showers. So please watch out if you guys are in the water, on your boats, or swimming in the Gulf. As for our nightlife forecast, so it's going to be mostly clear today. Winds 5 miles per hour and 70 degrees, so it looks like it's going to be a good night to go out. Our Strozier forecast for you guys hitting the books late at night. It's going to be cool, 65 degrees. Bring a jacket, slightly cooler. I'm sure we can enjoy a nice stroll out tonight in these cooler temperatures. Weekday planner. So here, for the next week, it's going to be mid-80s for most of the week. Low, it's 66 and 67 on Wednesday and Thursday. So it's actually going to be really nice in the morning this week. And I'm going to pass it off to Nico for a look at the local.
Thank you, Nicholas. Your countdown to fall, it's 10 days from today to start of fall. It's still going to feel like summer because it's Florida, but you are getting closer to that time of year where you're going to end up having those cold fronts. They're only at 49 days until Halloween. All right. Well, anyway, it's going to be 83 degrees right now in Tallahassee. Mostly cloudy conditions. You are got storms in the area now with the outflow boundary. around the rest of the area, it's mostly cloudy. You can see the patch of yellow. That's where you got the storms that have already come through. And then the wind speed and direction, the wind is coming out of the south. That's where you're getting the moist air. But as you see out here, it's coming from the west now. So you're getting kind of that change in the weather pattern. You can see here's the storms along the outflow boundary. There's now storms headed right toward Tallahassee on the west side. So you might want to, if you have any plans around FSU this evening, you might want to keep your eye to the sky. And then potentially another round over here later tonight if it holds together. And here's your future radar. You got those storms coming in, but as you can see, as we look into Tuesday, they're all down here, and it stays nice in Tallahassee all day tomorrow. We don't look like we're going to have any storms. The first time in a while will be thunderstorm free. But tonight in Tallahassee, after the storms are out, it's going to be 71 degrees under partly cloudy skies. And tonight's forecast, it's going to be 73 degrees in Tallahassee under mostly cloudy skies. Most of the area is going to be mostly cloudy. There might be a few showers early, but it is still going to be a warm and humid night. It's still that time of the year. And look at your hour by hour. It's going to get down to 74 degrees in the morning, but tomorrow it's not going to be as hot, but it's going to get warm. It's still going to be warm even though it is not going to be as humid or as stormy tomorrow. Tomorrow will definitely, however, be a good beach day. You don't have to worry about the storms on the beach. It's going to be 89 degrees. The front doesn't get as far south and east. So that's definitely good for a beach day. And then look at your week ahead. It's going to be in the upper 80s all week. Until Saturday, we have a chance of thunderstorms. So it's definitely, watch Saturday, but the rest of the week it's going to be nice. Now I'm going to pass things off to the closing desk.
Thank you so much, Nico. Yeah, that rainy weather, Spencer, that rainy weather has been getting me down. How do you feel about that?
I know, me too, Ali. This past weekend, it's been really, really rainy. We've got a couple of inches across most of Tallahassee, most of the area, actually. But you are in luck. Actually, the rest of us are in luck, too, because we have a cold front moving through in the next few days.
Oh, my God, can't wait.
I know, right? You guys probably saw in some of the graphics earlier, that pretty sharp line of cooler temperatures and drier conditions, which we should expect to start seeing as early as tomorrow, actually, Ale.
Yeah, I know. You know, it really feels like fall is coming. What do you like to do during the fall?
You know, fall is one of my favorite seasons, Ale. You got Thanksgiving, you have Halloween, all great holidays building up to the holidays, so lots of fun all around for everybody.
I completely agree. Yeah, the fall is just one of my favorite times of the year. You feel that cooler weather, that, you know, those fall activities. I just really do enjoy that fall weather. It's just, you know, just a good time to get together with family. You just see everybody. Everybody comes into town. You have Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
We make a turkey. I don't know about y'all. Do y'all make a turkey?
Oh, in my family, everybody makes something. We have corn casserole, we have stuffing,
Oh,
turkey,
wow.
you name it, Jell-O mold. We got everything in our
Oh,
family.
yeah. We have sweet potato casserole. That's a big thing in my family. We're really big on that.
What about Halloween? Do you have any costume ideas already for this year?
You know, I already bought my costume.
I need to get mine. I already have my idea, though.
It's just, really?
Yes.
Oh my God, is it a secret?
I think for you, I'll let you know. I'm planning on doing Freddie Mercury, actually.
Oh my God,
the
that's
iconic
I
look with
can
the belt
see
and the
it.
armband.
I can
Thank
see
you,
it.
Ollie. What about
I
you?
can totally see it. I'm planning on doing a couples costume with my boyfriend.
Oh, that is awesome. I
It's
can't
gonna be
wait
really
to see
exciting.
that.
But yeah, you know, you guys should follow us on FSU Weather on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Have a great night, everybody, and we're going to see that 7-day forecast that's going to help you out for the rest of the week.